Hello, internets.
And interwebs.
I, of course, am Scott. All my base are belong to MasterCard. And with me, as always, is...
Robert, fa la 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 la, 2020. Happy New Year, people. James.
Yeah. I should have known that was going to be mentioned at some point here. Yeah. Fun stuff. We, of course, are two guys who watch movies, and today we are two guys who are talking about movies.
Or as the actual name of the show is, Unscripted and Mostly Harmless.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, we, of course, today are talking about the end of the Resident Evil movies.
Thank God.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. We are talking about the 4th, 5th, and 6th movies. That is Resident Evil Afterlife, Resident Evil not Retaliation. It's
Redemption?
Retribution.
Retribution. Redemption was, yeah.
Yeah, and Resident Evil, the final chapter. The problem is there's too many Resident Evils with a subtitle that starts with an R.
This is true.
With Revelations and all the rest of it. But, yeah, so today we are going to, of course, be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But quick plot synopsis of all three. Want me to handle this, or did you want
got it.
You got it? All
I
right.
got it. You ready?
Yeah, what is it?
Wait, hold on. I forgot her name. Alice does a bunch of things, doesn't get killed in the movie.
Oh, yeah, you could actually say that about all 6 of them.
Correct.
Technically.
Moving on.
Okay. No, actually, plot synopsis, Afterlife. She loses all of her powers, and she helps a bunch of people. That doesn't make any difference at all whatsoever. Then the next one, they go in a training facility. It's the worst movie that they ever made in the whole entire series.
Wrong.
And it could easily be taken out of the series and would have made no difference at all whatsoever.
You could say that about all the movies.
Pretty much. And then we had the final chapter, and in the final chapter, we actually had a plot line that is supposedly finishing things up, where Alice is, for the first time ever, risking her life to go and get a MacGuffin. All the other time, she's not risking her life. She's just getting a MacGuffin. Right.
She's never in any real danger.
Oh, not really, no. Well, except for the first one.
Yeah,
I'd say the first one, there was stakes in that one. Okay, so let's get right onto the good. So, would you like to mention some good things about these 3 movies?
Sure. They were Resident Evil films. I'm done.
Well, if you think that's good, some people would actually put that in the bad or the ugly category.
No, okay. Was it 4 and 5? 4 and 5. 4 was horrible. Horrible, worst film of all. Backtrack. Everything that you just lost, never mind. Didn't happen. She doesn't have powers. She's not a very shoe, we promise. Except for she is, because she still can't be killed.
That's more like 5. Yeah.
5 is the one in the training facility, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my... I'm almost still willing to put that my favorite, but yeah.
Why would you make that your favorite? It's terrible.
I love the way that they brought the old characters back and rewrote them into the script.
Right. Yeah. As clones.
You still say that beginning is a copy from the other... I've watched both movies back to back, and you're wrong.
Yeah, whatever you say.
I'd say it has by far the best intro to zombies of all of them. When that chick goes every time, and the little boy in me goes woohoo every time.
Oh, he's someone like that movie.
Yes. And like I said, the way they brought the characters back, I thought was really interesting. People that you're going, Michelle Rodriguez, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to cheer for her so bad, but I can't because you're a bitch.
That's true. That's true.
So,
she was not a good person.
And we're going to save a lot for the last.
Although it's funny because she actually played a good person and a bad person because they had 2 of her in that movie. So she actually does play a good person in the, which I get the whole, did get laugh out of the whole Alice gives her a gun and she's like, no, I went against the NRA.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, take it anyway.
Exactly.
But no, yeah, for me, the good, actually, I was a big fan of Afterlife, which you think is one of the worst. But the reason why was because, oddly enough, it's the only movie that is very good at not retconning anything that happened in the previous film. It actually continues exactly where 3 left off at. Because 3 leaves off with all the clones and her saying, I'm going to go and bring my friends and I want to take down Umbrella. And that's exactly what she's doing at the beginning. She's with the clones, she's taking down Umbrella. And then what does she do afterwards? After she thinks she's defeated Umbrella, because she honestly thinks she has, then she goes to meet her friends in Alaska, which is what she told them she was going to do, despite the fact they were setting it up to make it look like she was going to die. She said, I will, find a way to get there to see you. And that's exactly what she did. It's the only movie that really just continues where they left off. All the other ones had to change things. They had to retcon something. They had to go and, or they had to go and not mention certain things or be like, oh, well, yeah, so that just happened off screen. So here's what's happening now. So it was the only one that did that. And then I liked the fact that they got rid of her powers in the clones in the first 15 minutes because she was so overpowered. How could anything stop her? There was no way. So what do they do in the first 15 minutes? They get rid of her powers and they kill off all the clones. In that movie.
Right.
We're not going to count the other ones just yet.
Right. Right.
And then we get a basic zombie film. We get a bunch of people trapped inside a single building, a prison in this one, which I thought was a great location because it made sense that people would actually go to a prison to stay away from the zombies. And then it's about them trying to escape. Now, obviously, they still escape a stupid way. And the freaking executioner is ridiculous, but we're going to get to that stuff when we get to the bad and the ugly.
Absolutely going to get to that
But
stuff.
at the same time, I really enjoyed that movie. I had a lot of fun with it, and even when it had the ridiculousness, I enjoyed the clones. I enjoyed the just batshit insane action that they had in it. And even, I am a fan of Wesker. I know you don't care for Wesker in these films. I personally do like him, and I like the way he's portrayed in Afterlife. As far as the 5th movie goes, the good I can say is music was nice. That's all I got on that one. And then the 6th one, the Afterlife, I'm sorry, the final chapter.
We're saving that for the end.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you
save that for get these other 2 skip movies out of the way.
Oh, really? You want to do a separate?
And then we'll do separate for the final chapter.
That's fine. You can see how he warns me of this ahead of time before we start the show.
What part of unscripted don't you understand?
You can at least warn a guy about stuff. Anyway, okay, so that's the good for the first 2.
Right.
All right. On to the bad. Would you like to start? I just talked a bunch.
How long was the film? Would you say 90 minutes?
Which one? All of them? Each one?
The one where she fights the executioner. That would have been 4.
Well, then she fights 2 of them in number 5. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 90 minutes.
Okay, let's say 89 of it was bad. Next.
Well, number 5. Any bad in number 5?
5.
Because we're talking about 4 and 5 right now.
No stakes.
Yeah, there is absolutely no. Yeah,
you felt like everything was a controlled environment.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of took all of the zombie element out because again, you knew it was all tests. Mm-hmm. It was all being controlled. It was all simulations. So there was never any real danger.
Yeah, and I'll go one step further. The other big problem with 5, and I'm definitely going to count this as a bad and not an ugly. She still, at this point in 5, she is not supposed to have her powers. Apparently, the writer didn't get the memo because how the hell would she have survived that without her powers? Like half the crap she does in that movie. It is totally unbelievable to me that she is in 5 the same character she was in number 1. Because number 1's the only movie otherwise I mean, other than 4, after the first 15 minutes, she has no powers there. And I felt, for the most part, everything she did in 4 was pretty much on par with what she did in 1. I don't think it was that much beyond.
Right.
But 5, yeah. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
At the very end, I mean, she fights Jill, barely survives, and then fights Rain, who's now super powered with the parasite, and she takes the exact same hit that killed, what's his name? Starts with an L.
Leonard? No.
I want to say Lucas. It's not Lucas. It's not Logan. What was it?
Anyway,
Luther.
it doesn't matter.
It was Luther.
Okay,
yeah.
Luther's dead.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Luther died. Yeah, I miss you, Luther.
Yes.
He was cool. I actually like the character.
Rest
but anyway,
in pieces.
Yeah, but the worst thing is she takes the exact same hit that kills him. They show it affecting her rib cage in the exact same way.
Right.
It almost stops her heart, but doesn't.
Well,
she survives. Like, how? In fact, it looked like her heart stopped and then started up again on its own. Excuse me? How does this work exactly? What are the rules here?
Well, that was a beautiful segue into my ugly.
Oh, wait, but we're not an ugly yet. Because I haven't finished the rest of my bad.
Hold on, there's more bad.
There's more bad. Unfortunately, there's more bad. I'm sorry. And we're not even at 6 yet. Oh my God, there's just so much bad in the 5th film for me. The biggest bad for me is the fact that it could easily be taken out of the franchise and make no difference, because they do have an ongoing storyline, despite the fact they keep retconning things every single time. But there is an ongoing storyline, and the 5th one doesn't even contribute to it, really, at all.
No,
the
I
only
agree.
thing that contributes to the storyline, kind of, is the final scene where he's like, the Red Queen has got an army, and we're going to have this final battle and all that stuff, and it's a footnote of 6.
Right.
But you kind of need that footnote for certain things to take place. So that's the only thing in 5 that matters. Otherwise, you can just take it out. I mean, we're going to get into this with 6 anyway, but I mean, they kill off the characters in 5. No one survives.
True.
Because anyone who's still alive at the end is then, they didn't survive the battle.
Right.
That they don't show. So because of that, they might as well have already been dead before this, because it made no difference. Sad but true. So that's a definite bad. Afterlife, for the most part, like I said, I didn't have a lot of bad. There was only a couple things in that movie that I wasn't a fan of. One being the 3D, the obvious, let's keep throwing stuff at the screen because it's 3D. Now, I'm sure if you're buying a 3D ticket and you're watching this movie, you probably appreciate the fact that they did something for the 3D.
Gotta justify that $3.95.
Exactly, but at the same time, especially when you're watching at home on a non-3D TV, it looks really weird that they keep throwing things at the screen.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look weird at all. We wouldn't just keep doing stuff like that. People love that.
And that's perfectly natural, because that's exactly what you do. You always throw stuff at the screen.
Right.
That's just what you have in every movie.
Exactly.
Oh, man. And then also the fact that Wesker, they can't figure out how they want to kill him off, so he dies like, 5 times in that movie?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, because they kill him, and then he comes back, and then they kill him, and he comes back. And, they kill him at the beginning, but then later on at the end, at the ending, they shot him a bunch of times. They blew a hole in his head.
Yes, they did.
There was nothing even. There was only parts of his brain left. He just keeps coming back, and then he was still back to normal, because they imply that he fed on the other guy that, I guess, he turned into a zombie or something.
Well, off screen.
Yeah, off screen, exactly. And then they still blow him up, and then he still survived. Although in the final chapter, they could just write that off as, that was one of the clones, which we'll get into. But yeah, I mean, that was another one of my bads, that I liked the Wesker character, but it was ridiculous that they just one after the other death carousel going on there. And then I also got a kick out of the fact that he throws Claire and Chris into these tubes, right? These cryogenic tubes. Okay, that's fine. Except, when it comes to the tubes, they were showing that they would have these pictures that they took of the person for the tube, so that's how they knew who each one was. There were pictures already of them wearing the same clothes. Where was this camera taking this picture?
Oh, it's like at Great America when you get on the ride and snap your picture.
Yeah.
And then...
apparently that's how they do it.
Or an amusement park for people who are not in the Midwest.
Yeah. And it looked like it almost looked like they were posing for the picture, because they're looking straight on, and they have just regular faces. They don't have like, oh, I just got captured in a cryotube face, that sort of thing.
Right.
All right. So moving on to the ugly. Go ahead and start your ugly.
The same ugly I've had in every single one of these films. Mm-hmm. She's a Mary Sue. Mm-hmm. I absolutely despise the fact. I should not cheer on my heroine when she's getting her ass beat. And yet, every time she bleeds, I cheer. Ignoring all the other characters, and we're really going to get into it in the last film, so I'm not going to go too far.
Yeah.
But again, it's not the freaking Alice show.
Right.
But that's all it ever is.
Well, here's the thing. Resident Evil, as a video game, is definitely not the Alice show. But obviously, Resident Evil as the movie, this was always meant to be the Alice show. I mean, you can tell that was the whole point of this. I don't agree with it, but it's obvious that's exactly what this was.
Oh, I hate to disagree, but I'm going to. They were setting up Claire as much as they were Alice in the first film.
Not
Claire.
No.
Yeah, Claire.
No, Claire's not in the first film.
I'm
Claire doesn't show up until the third.
Who's in the first one? The cop.
The cop? That was a guy.
No, it was a girl.
You're talking about Jill, who's in the second film.
Thank you.
Who's in the second film.
But they were... Okay, fine. Whatever. Damn cocaine. Damn 80s. Anyway, they were setting up Jill as much to be the main character as they were Alice in the beginning.
At the beginning of the second film, yes. Which changes later on once Alice shows up.
Which is very eye-opening when you find out that later she married the director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
later on, I mean, she wasn't married for the first one. They met, but yeah, they met on the set. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they met on the set quite often. Anyway, no, I have no idea. That was the director, not the writer.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no. The director is the writer also. He wrote and directed. In fact,
you dirty girl and boy.
He wrote and directed the first one. He wrote the second and third one. I believe the other people directed them. In fact, actually, I think he just wrote the story for the third one. Someone else wrote the screenplay. But then he wrote and directed 4, 5, and 6. Yeah.
Okay, that explains so much. But still, that's my ugly.
That was Paul W.S. Anderson. Mm-hmm. Got to remember that W.S. in there. Yeah. Also known for directing Mortal Kombat, Event Horizon, which is one of my favorite horror films, and several other movies as well. Just Monster Hunter just came out. Also starring Mila Jovovich. Anyway, so going back to ugly. So my ugly, and this is actually technically for all three of them. So should I do it now or wait till later?
Your call.
Okay, I'm going to do it now anyway. So all three of them have this one ugly that just drove me up a wall. And what it is that Resident Evil has, for the most part, been about zombies. But thanks to what they decided to do in episode 3 in the third movie, and then decided to continue in movies 4, 5, and 6, it became all about clones. It's the Clone Saga.
and Alice.
It's Alice and the Clones. Hey, that sounds like a rock band.
It does.
Yeah. No,
I still see them.
Oh man, it
if
became
Josie and the Pussycats were opening for Alice and the Clones, dude, that would be a hell of a show.
There you go. No, it became all about the clones. I mean, the fourth one, she's got all the clones, and they die, and that seems to be the end of it. But then, here we go, number 5. How do you think that they have all the people for the training facilities? They've been cloning people. They've got all these basic models that they just keep on giving different personalities and memories to, and all this other stuff. And then what happens in number 6?
We're getting to that.
So I'll be talking more about number 6 in the ugly about clones, because it's all about the clones, don't you know?
Yes.
Oh man, it got bad. It got really bad. And that's a big part of what I didn't like about 5 was you talk about, they brought all these characters back. That was awesome. That was wonderful. Except they're all clones. And because of that, it's not the same people. And
absolutely not.
And
but
because
it never
of that,
was those people.
I couldn't bring myself to give a damn.
I didn't give a damn at
they're
all.
just clones. They're just freaking clones.
One of us is anti-clone.
Oh, I'm not happy with clones.
I fully expect a
to
shirt
me,
to come up on you that says clones with a big,
To me, it feels like we had all these ideas and we needed to have a reason to have these people back. So we just use clones because it's so easy as a way out for writing. Why come up with a explanation of how they could have possibly survived, or how we could have used the same people? Nah, we'll just make clones. It's easy, so much easier. So yeah, that was my ugly. So you want to move on to number 6?
I would love to move on to the finale.
Final chapter.
Oh,
The final chapter.
That's countdown. If you sing one more note, we're going to get copyright strike.
Oh, shoot. Darn it.
Oh, I can't use these notes.
Why?
We were supposed to film on 1/6. It has to be.
Oh, who cares?
Fine. I hold in my formerly nicotine-stained fingers the final notes for the final Resident Evil.
Really gonna drag this out, aren't you? Jeez, you're the one complaining about me about how long these are all the time. Jeez.
Well,
All right, let's start off with the good.
The good acting is so much improved in this.
Oh yeah.
Alice was not stiff. She wasn't. Not every line was delivered with that "I'm a tough bitch" face. They softened her up quite a bit.
Yeah.
The supporting cast was awesome, except Wesker. Fuck Wesker. I hate him. I hate the actor that played him.
If I may interject, I've said several times about how I like Wesker and I'm happy with Wesker in this franchise. This is the movie that's the exception. I actually do not care for how they did Wesker in this movie, not because the actor. I feel the actor, he's
I have seen him in other films. He is fine.
Yeah, he is doing what they hired him to do. He is doing the part that he is directed to do, and he's fine. That's the interpretation they wanted from him. That's what he gave them. That's fine. However, I do not agree with how they did Wesker in this one, and I'll be mentioning that later on.
Good. So yes, no. Again, fuck Wesker in every possible way, and
Just got to bring that up again.
And I'm going to take back when I said "and the actor" because the actor is fine. Wesker pisses me off. I liked him in the video games. It's not the same character. You are never going to convince me that's the
fine.
same character.
I'll stop trying.
Okay. Plot, dude. For the first time, there was one.
Yeah.
There was an actual, legitimate, followable plot.
Yeah.
It was razor thin, but there was a plot.
Yeah.
And by far, since the first film, the look.
Yeah.
For the first time in 5 movies, I actually felt like I was in an apocalypse.
Okay.
Like the end times were actually there. Like things had gone straight to hell. The world actually feels deserted. Right. Not like, where is everybody? Oh, crows ate them, dude. Fuck you. Screw you and your lazy ass writing.
Yeah.
This world felt
yeah.
like it was the end.
Yeah. Number 3 was supposed to be the first extinction one, and the problem with number 3 was it's in Nevada.
Right.
Have you ever been to Nevada?
There's nothing in
There's
Nevada.
nothing in Nevada to begin with.
Oh,
so
look,
it
it's
doesn't.
Vegas.
Yeah,
Another 7 hours of sand.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it looks like Nevada. So I mean, unfortunately, that didn't work. I disagree with you with number 4 because number 4, I felt when she's flying around, yeah, it does look deserted. It looks like an apocalypse and that sort of thing. The problem is you've got it for one little scene and that's it.
But
That's
she
it.
keeps running into people.
Well, only at that one prison. Otherwise, she was even talking about how
She met the crazy family that tried to eat her or whatever.
No, that was 3. That was 3. You're getting mixed. Yeah.
I really hate when I get my crappy Resident Evil movies mixed around.
No, in number 4, she doesn't find anybody. In fact, she says there's nobody, not even the undead, and then she finds that every undead is all on that freaking prison. Because apparently the only humans left in
Except
that
for it
city.
isn't, because we established that in 6. But anyway.
Sort of.
But yes, that is my good.
Okay, so my good was going back to the acting. I was very impressed with Mila Jovovich's acting, not only as Alice, but more importantly as Alicia. She plays 2 characters in this. I thought...
We'll get to it later.
Yeah. I like how she did Alicia because the thing is that I feel like these are 2 completely different characters, despite the fact that it's revealed that Alice is supposed to be the clone of Alicia. They felt like 2 completely different characters to me. They didn't feel like the same person. And I thought she did very good as this woman who is not supposed to be that old, but suffers from a degenerative disease that makes her age and all that stuff.
But for 1 second, did you believe the Red Queen, Alicia, and Alice was the same person?
No.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
No, supposed to be.
But here's the thing. I was just saying about how I felt that Alice and Alicia felt like 2 different characters. Being played by the same woman, they could have been 2 different women playing the same character. So I'm flat out saying I don't feel like any of these are the same people.
There would be certain tics, characteristics, or something that would be nature, not nurture.
Possibly, yeah.
If you get 2 siblings that were separated at birth and 3 years later gained them together, they both have the same mannerisms.
I see what you're saying, and yes,
and none of these, and maybe that's just me nitpicking because I am an editor. We make,
Well,
but
if
they would have just had them all scratch their nose in the same way, not even at the same time, but just something to identify these 3 are indeed the same character.
Right, I get what you're saying.
Yep.
And you definitely got it for the clone and Alicia. Technically, the Red Queen is a computer program. Who knows if it would even have picked up things like that. So they could get away with it on the computer program, but they still should have had it with the clone and Alicia. I get what you're saying.
Yep.
Don't totally agree with it, but I get what you're saying.
That's right. We disagree? No.
No, never on this show. So yeah, we got the acting. I definitely thought was good. Like you said, the stakes, the plot line. Like I said, I felt there was actual stakes for this movie. I actually felt like she could have died at the end of this one because honestly, it's the final chapter. It would make sense. I would have had no problem with it. Honestly, I personally, if I was writing this, because I do some writing once in a while. If I was writing this, I probably would have had her sacrifice herself, and then because the big thing in this one was about they're mentioning how she's a clone, she's a product of Umbrella. And if she went against them because, she's not doing what Umbrella wants her to do or whatever, And it's very much going to be that Umbrella would never make the sacrifice play. Umbrella's all about themselves. They're all selfish. They're all, about remaking things in their image and all this other stuff. So, I mean, if they want to go with that plot line, which obviously they did, I personally think it would have made more sense for her to sacrifice herself to be the ultimate, F you to the Umbrella Corporation, that sort of thing. But, whatever. It is what it is. And unfortunately, it's obvious they're leaving her alive just in case they wanted to make another one, like Friday the 13th.
Just in case.
Just in case I make it the Friday the 13th final chapter.
Right.
Ugh. But anyway, so I was happy with that. What else? Was there any other good in there? Let me see. I think that's going to be mostly it because as much as I do like the final chapter, that's about all I can say for the good because it's the plot line, it's the acting, and that's about it. So I guess we have to move on to the bad.
We have a title card. All right.
You enjoy this title card.
Am I going? I love title cards.
Oh, go right ahead, man. You can go first.
Production value. Come on. We have a zero budget. So anything I can come up with that makes us look
There you
cool.
go. But yeah, you can always go first because I talk way too much. Go ahead.
Nobody's ever noticed that.
Yeah, right. Unless they ever listen.
Oh, what was that? Okay, we'll talk about it at the end of the show. Alice is still, and I know I keep harping on this, but she's still a Mary freaking Sue.
Someone get a harp icon. We need one. Because you just don't stop, man.
Way too unkillable. Even when she falls into the big zombie trap, right? And she's all bloodied up, and never for 1 second did I buy she was in any danger. Not even for a second.
Yeah, I don't agree with you on that one. She actually looked like she was going through more damage in this one than the other ones. The weird thing is that because she's still supposed to have the T virus in her, but she acts more realistically in pain in this one than she ever did in the other ones. Even the ones where she wasn't supposed to have the powers anymore. It's just weird to me.
If I hit you in the face with a hammer, you're done for 6 to 8 weeks if you survive. Right?
Yeah.
That's one time with a small hammer.
If you survive.
If you survive.
That's the important part there.
They did that to her before she brushed her teeth in the morning. So that's what I'm saying. If they would have, now I know you can't say 6 months passed. Well, then stop putting her through all these fights.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It is what it is. But
yes.
I don't totally agree with that. I just don't. But go on.
Everything revolves around Alice.
Oh, yeah, but you already said this.
Alice. If the antivirus works, she dies. If the Red Queen came to her for help, when she had all these other people the Red Queen could have came to, they hate each other, she called her a bitch. We've established these two characters do not like each other.
Yeah.
Why would you go to Alice for help?
Oh, because we reveal that she's the clone.
Okay. Other characters are background fodder. That's what bugs me. Other characters who could have been very cool in the spotlight were just background fodder. Same thing, way too many undeveloped characters. Here, meet Sam. But don't worry about his last name because in 30 seconds, he's going to get a knife to the eye. That girl over there, well, that's Sherry. Don't bother to get her know her name either because in 7 minutes, crushed by a boulder. And they do that quite a bit in this, like more than any other films. Hi, this is Scott. He'll be dying 7 minutes from now when the pizza guy comes through the door and stabs him in the temple. That's
pretty much. It seems that way. I agree with the bad to a point with the characters because one thing that bothered me about this was the whole red herring / operative. We have an operative for the Umbrella Corporation. And the operative, right off the bat, right away, we have this guy. We got to kill her. We got to kill her right now. Yeah. You don't even know who this guy is. You don't know who any of these people are. We got to kill her. It's like, well, obviously he's not the operative because that's so really obvious. And the funny thing is, there's only 2 characters who they say their names repeatedly.
Right.
You get Christian, the guy who wants to kill her, and you get Doc, the nice guy who wants to help everybody and is all about helping people and trying to make the world a better place.
And banging Claire.
Guess who the operative is?
And banging Claire.
And banging Claire, of course. But if you had the opportunity, man.
Wish I was Doc.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's like, boy, wonder who the operative is. It's really hard to figure it out. Like, come on. You know, and then, like you said, everyone else is just fodder because they don't even give you their names practically. We're doing the script meeting right now. I just finished up the script for our final script meeting at the time that we're recording this. And I needed to have the character names at one point in the script. I had to look up the credits Because when I watched the movie, I rewatched this movie twice, by the way, to get the full script done.
I am so sorry.
And I could not figure out what their names were because each person, they get their name said like once otherwise. That's about it. I take that back. The one guy, I think his name was Razor, they said his name twice because later on they ask Alice, where's Razor? And she has to say he didn't make it.
The one that really bugged me was the girl with short hair that was
Abigail?
the mechanic kind of
Abigail.
character. Okay. They set her up like, ooh, you badass. Yay.
Yeah, and she does nothing.
And how does she die?
Oh my God, in the fans.
Sucked into a fan.
The worst part is that the way that
Spoilers.
Dude, we've been doing so many spoilers. It's a little late. It's a little late now. Oh my God.
Abigail getting sucked into a
If
van.
people weren't aware of spoilers at the point now,
We're in trouble.
you've already got the death threats, man. The death threats are already in the email.
They're
It's too
coming.
late now.
Okay, if you're wondering what you just missed by that jump cut, you'll have to check out the podcast on Spotify, Amazon, or pretty much everywhere you get podcasts. So I'm going to probably cut that whole thing out.
Well, that's only because every time we have a really good conversation, you cut it.
But it's because I want them to go listen to the podcast.
Poor people who watch the video. I feel bad for you. I
We
do.
love you too. They don't get to see us do stuff like this.
For those watching the podcast,
Watching
for those listening to the podcast, he just waved his arms frantically.
I can just picture somebody in their bed looking at their phone. Damn, this picture hasn't changed this entire show. My God, dude, how are they staying so still?
Yeah, there you go. We're really good at that.
So
Freeze frame.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, are we moving on to the ugly?
Oh, I got a lot of ugly.
I bet you do. So here it is. The ugly.
Title card.
Go on.
The zombies, and you touched on this earlier.
Oh, yes.
The zombies are a waste. This movie is based on a video game about zombies. But other than finding cool ways to kill said zombies, which there are some cool ways that zombies die in this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
true.
as a weapon,
Yeah.
weaponized zombies.
Sort of, yeah. Weaponized zombie army.
Zombie army. All chasing one
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, we're gonna create a zombie army by having one person on a leash, and we're gonna drag them behind a tank, because obviously every zombie in the world is going to be going after this one person.
And wouldn't it be smarter to just tie her to the tank? So if the zombies get too close, you could speed up and not lose your bait.
Well, no, that's why they had several in the tank, so that when because I guess that's to give them a snack once in a while. I don't know.
Oh, keep them interested.
Yeah.
You got to feed them one.
Yeah, once in a while, yeah.
But yeah,
otherwise
no.
they might get disinterested and just start wandering away.
Right. The zombies are background noise. They're really just background noise. in this one.
The zombies are practically nothing. In fact, the zombie dogs get a better piece of the action in this one than the zombies do.
And they tried to make them look so badass. And we
yeah.
all know dogs are 4 shots with a pistol.
Yeah. Well, no, not these. These are the Cerberus.
Whatever. You're
Actually,
vampire dogs. You're still stealing from Blade.
Oddly enough, I believe that in the Resident Evil book, they actually call the regular zombie dog Cerberus.
Cerberus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually not that impressive.
Nope. Let me keep going.
Go on. Keep on going.
Oh, God, the shaky cam. The shaky cam and the stupid jump cuts and the stupid jump scares and all this. I have to beep every F word later. And all this stupid.
Oh, so I'm supposed to swear a lot in this one. Okay,
I've been
I got
swearing
it.
more than you because these movies tick me off.
I know they do.
The jump scare. All
He
this.
loves these movies. Don't let you.
No,
don't-
I
don't let
love
you think
the
otherwise.
series. I love the video games. I would even say I love the anime, some parts of it. These movies I have no love for. It was all 13-year-old crap.
Yeah.
This is not your audience, Capcom, or director, or anybody. Your audience is old farts like us because we've been playing the game since the 90s. Know who you're filming for.
I'm not that old. Speak for yourself.
You lying stack. Which one of us has... Anyway.
Like hair matters, please. Yeah, this is shaved on purpose. Thank you.
I'm glad I got my boots on. I'm not sure how much cocaine was procured and snorted off of the belly of the hookers that were in the green room before each shoot. My guess is it was a lot.
No, you got it all wrong. It was the cocaine in the writer's room when they were coming up with the storyline.
We can't make the zombie look any deader. Just shake the camera, okay? Anyway, I find that very frustrating. It pulls me right out of a movie every time they do it. A lot of Amazon, made for Amazon movies will do that where it's supposed to feel real and gritty. It feels cheap and horrible production, and you and I can do better. And we have no budget and no skills. Well, I have no skills.
I have no budget.
Yes.
I don't have the budget. He doesn't have the skills. So, you know.
Here we go. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. The ending.
Good luck there.
The ending. By God, the worst out of every Resident Evil film or fan fiction, or including a fan fiction where she ends up marrying Ken of Ken and Barbie fame.
I wasn't aware of this. I did not want to be aware of this. Thanks for nothing.
Alice?
I am going to disagree with you about the ending, but go on.
Alice saves the world by making a sacrifice of her own life.
Not really.
Oh, absolutely.
She survived.
They make a big deal out of that.
Yeah, but she survived.
Oh, if you release the antidote, you will die.
But the problem is she survived.
Oh, I have a problem with that too. Okay, no, it pissed me off in the Matrix when they make Keanu Reeves Jesus.
Oh yeah,
and it pissed me off when they make her Jesus. If you're going to build up that this character is going to die if she makes a sacrifice, and then you take the sacrifice away from her, you're wasting my time, your audience time, and just shut up.
Well, the bigger problem is that I did feel there was stakes in this because of how damaged she was getting throughout the movie. But they keep saying about it will kill the T-virus cells in your body. And they already removed the T-virus from her body in a previous movie, and she survived. Why would we think removing the T-virus from her body would cause her to die? That was my problem.
Oh.
That was my problem with that. Do you have anything else?
I do.
Okay, because that's going to lead into my ugly. But go ahead.
I wish I had switched these two now.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead and do yours.
Okay. The longest 4 minutes in cinematic history.
Really?
Is at the end of this film. The stakes are the last outpost is gone in 4 minutes. They make a big deal out of that. The Red Queen says, you have 4 minutes, Alice.
Oh, yeah.
They say a specific time. Yeah. Now, I might be a little spoiled by, I think it's Schneider, that does, if he gives a timer in a film, you just set your watch to it.
Oh, yeah.
So I set my watch to it.
Oh, there's no way that was 4 minutes.
In the 4 minutes.
There's no way it was 4 minutes.
She has time to have a conversation with all three of herself, set up Wesker to die, have a way drawn-out fight scene with Dr. Dreamy, and still save the world. In 4
Yeah, there was no way. Yeah, the timing on this is way all over the place because you know they can get away with having you got 48 hours and then they can keep jumping the hours and showing what the hours. You can get away with that because we don't know exactly how far away she is from the hive. We don't know how long she's been knocked out in certain times. So there's plenty of times they can get away with it. But the problem is, they had to go and cut it down way too much. And the biggest problem I have with that whole countdown in the first place, it was supposed to be the countdown to them attacking all of the human settlements that were left. Despite the fact they get to the Raccoon City settlement long before the countdown is up, which completely goes against the so-called countdown. Who's to say they didn't already all get there early to the other places and already destroyed them?
Exactly.
I think the
4 minutes and then
the countdown would have made more sense if they had, it wasn't about, oh, we got tanks with zombies and we're going to destroy them. It was more along the lines of, we finished setting up, getting our satellites back in order, and we're going to be bombarding the surface with lasers or something. You know, that, although still ridiculous, would have made a more sense for a countdown than tanks with a zombie army behind them reaching settlements.
But, and again, the whole point was the way that they filmed the end was all supposed to be one scene.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do that, don't put a timer on it.
Yeah, it was terrible with the timer. I agree with that. Okay.
Done.
For yours. Okay.
For mine.
But here's my ugly, and this is the biggest ugly that ever uglied any of the uglies of the Resident Evil ugly.
That's a big ugly.
Yeah. And this is all of Final Chapter, because as much as I do enjoy watching Final Chapter, and I did actually like the movie, this drove me up a wall. Can you guess what it is?
You know, I gotta stop yawning. He's not boring me. You're not boring me. I went to bed at 3 a.m. last night. Got up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I apologize, audience.
It's one word. One word. Retcon. Oh my God, the retcons.
Aside from right after the opening credits to right to the ending credits, what did they retcon?
Everything in a word.
Which is why I said after the opening credits is where the retcons began, and right before the closing credits is when the retcons ended.
Yeah.
No,
only everything. Yeah. Oh my God, the retcons. And the worst part is that for most of these movies, they've done this. I get that, you know, Paul Anderson came up with all these ideas that he wanted to do, but the problem is that when you write all 6 movies, what excuse do you have for not keeping up with the previous ones? Even if you have new ideas, you know, it's like, well, we don't want to shoehorn it, so we're just going to retcon what we already said.
Right.
And this was the worst. This was the absolute worst, because right off the bat, we are introduced to Marcus, the head of Umbrella, who's never been mentioned up to this point at all whatsoever. He is a scientist who has a sick daughter, so he creates a T-virus. Oh, wait, that's right. There was a scientist in part 2 who had a sick daughter who created the T-virus.
But he wasn't Dr. Dreamy.
But he wasn't the head guy of Umbrella.
But Dr. Dreamy.
And then, because he's not sure if he can go and cure his daughter or not, he is going to go and take all these things about his daughter. He's going to record all these things so he can preserve her, which later on, Dr. Isaacs turns into the Red Queen. Oh, wait, that's right. In the first movie, the Red Queen was supposed to be a hologram of the programmer's daughter, the head programmer's daughter. Apparently now Dr. Isaacs is their head programmer.
Well, on part-time on weekends.
Oh, not only that, but the second one, they had to show that the scientist was really good at computers and hacking, so that we could imply he was the head programmer and that he had made the Red Queen. Although they never said it, they implied it, so that way that they had that in there just in case people were questioning it. We just threw that out the window for the other one. No. And then, not only that, but the T-virus escaped because in the second movie, we reopened the hive, which was the dumbest decision they ever made. But in Final Chapter, apparently, they've been selling the T-virus as the cure-all for everything. And that's how they accidentally find, oh, there's a side effect. If you're taking this medication and you die, you come back as a zombie. So how is there not an outbreak beforehand? And then they retcon that retcon later to say, oh, we're going to do this on purpose. Because the world is going to be destroyed by humans. We are destroying the planet. So we're going to destroy it on purpose. We'll sleep underground, wait for all the humans to die, and then we'll come back and reboot the planet, as one does, and reshape it in our own image. Which is the stupidest thing I ever heard of. So
Tighten that knob.
what? This one?
Yeah. Yeah, it won't move.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, if you're watching the video, see our wonderful technical difficulties.
Exactly.
Anyway, so yeah, the retcons drove me up a wall. We changed everything. Oh, the Red Queen. Oh my God, the Red Queen. Homicidal little computer girl who's killing everything in the first movie. Even more homicidal in the fifth movie.
Yep.
But, oh, no, actually, we're going to ignore they ignored the fifth movie in that aspect
Yep.
because they're flat out saying, oh, well, in the first movie, after she already was trying to kill everybody, then she received a file that showed her that Umbrella was actually behind the whole thing, which then begs the question, well, then why was the guy was stealing it to put on the black market if it was actually Umbrella who was purposely releasing it?
I thought, not to interrupt, I thought Dr. Dreamy took away her ability to use defenses. So he was doing it manually, or was that Wesker?
That was Wesker who
Right.
controlled the Hive's defenses
Right.
at that point.
Right.
But that had nothing to do with this. Because I'm talking about how supposedly after the events of the first movie, what's her name, Alicia, gave her a file that shows her the whole conference room where they decide to purposely release the T-virus. And because her, what's RoboCop's thing? He's got the 4 prime directives. Her 2 prime directives are A, protect Umbrella Corporation, B, protect human lives. Did they watch the first movie?
No, they skipped it.
I don't think so. So because of this, because the Umbrella Corporation killed all these people, which breaks her directives, that is why she is now trying to help the humans, because she realizes the Umbrella Corporation is evil. This makes no sense.
Nope.
None of this makes any sense. And it breaks the whole movie. It breaks the whole plot line. And these retcons are horrible.
Agreed.
So that is, like I said, the biggest ugly of all the uglies that ever uglied. Oh my
I don't
God.
disagree.
Yeah.
So, was there more?
No, that's it. That's pretty much all I've got to say about that.
As much as I hate to lump them all together,
Oh, you still got to do some coffee cups here. Yeah.
we're going to lump them all together.
Oh, and all 6, not just the top 3?
All 6,
Okay.
all 3.
Because you already gave coffee cups to the last 3.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have to do all. Okay, let's do all 3
Okay.
to the end.
And what did you do last time?
I don't recall.
I don't either.
I think
So-
a coffee cup and a half.
Okay. So what are you going to do for the 4, 5, and 6? What would you go?
1/4 coffee cup.
Wow, that poor coffee cup. You're
One-
just really cutting it into a little sliver there.
Sliver
One sliver of a coffee
of
cup.
coffee cup.
Okay.
Plus 1. So 1 1/4.
Yeah, well, for me, 4, 5, and 6, I actually liked 4 and I liked 6. So, I don't know. I'd probably give them about 3.5. But I mean, I really
Generous.
I'm being
with
very
your
generous.
coffee cup.
Well, I'm being very generous considering the fact that 5 was the one I hated the most. But I am saying that 4 and 6 was enough to get it up to 3.5.
I can't share your excited worldview when it comes to these 3 films.
Yeah, as a
This is
whole,
hard.
as a whole, it's hard. I'd have to go 3, or well, no, I take that back because it's out of 5, isn't it?
Correct.
2.5. Yeah, it's 2.5 out of 5 because it balances itself out. It's 2.5 out of 5. Yeah, it's down the middle. It's straight down the middle.
I'm going to go 3.
Wow.
1 and 5, save it. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
Yeah.
3.
And here's the thing. For people wanting to know if we're actually recommending this or not, the Resident Evil franchise as a whole, it's its own bag. Don't go into this expecting Resident Evil, the video game. You're not going to get it. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to hate what you see. But if you go into it to see an interesting horror franchise, it's its own thing. It's got good moments and bad. Certain movies definitely are better than others. I would personally skip 3 and 5. That's me. He would have you skip completely different numbers. But one thing I would tell you is that you can't watch Final Chapter on its own. You got to see the other previous films. I hate to say it, because some of them are terrible, but you don't even bother with Final Chapter unless you've been watching some of the other ones, because there's no point. It really is the culmination of the films.
And I agree. I actually 100% agree. But I will say this. If you're going to do This Is the Alice Show, and you want to know how to do it right, go back and watch Tremors, start to finish. That is how you do a main character.
Yeah, that's how you do it. But also, if you want to have fun watching the Resident Evil movies, then what you do is that you go and get them all. You get a whole bunch of friends together, and you make a night of it, like a Halloween night or something like that, or you make it a Resident Evil night. We're going to be watching these things and enjoying some booze and some good food and stuff like that.
Booze.
Maybe lots of booze. And making fun of them with your friends, because that's going to be a lot more enjoyable than watching them over and over again and write script meetings. Trust me on this. Just personal experience.
I only had to rewatch 2 films.
Yeah, I had to rewatch them all.
I had to watch them all. So
and multiple times.
Yes.
Because the problem with writing these scripts is that I'm trying to get them as accurate as possible. I try not to make mistakes. Sadly, I still do make mistakes because, unfortunately, I'm human.
I have not seen proof of that.
Well,
when was the last time you peed?
Yeah. What? Don't start sounding like other people who keep telling me I'm a robot.
So, we're back to picking each other's films.
Yeah, we are no longer stuck in the middle of a saga. So we are no longer going to be doing Resident Evil after this.
Thank God.
We get to do a completely different movie next time that is unrelated to anything that we've done up to this point.
I don't remember who.
But we'll see for sure.
Yep.
You never know. We sometimes surprise each other.
Absolutely.
I am amazed at some of the things you like, man. I really am.
There's no accounting for taste.
Yeah, and some people just don't have any. So, that's that there too.
That's hot in here.
Quick, get him a cold pack. He's going to need one. All right, I think that's about it. So
I do want to say, it's been a hell of a year.
Yeah. Well, now we're in 2021.
2021, so
thank God for that.
To the hundreds of people that listen to our podcast and the 33 people that watch our videos, thank you. We're still going to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, and hope that you've all been safe this past year.
Yes.
Certainly hope that you were able to get through it, because a lot of people didn't. So certainly hope that a lot of you are still with us.
And here's the 2021 being a whole lot better.
Yes, definitely. I just hope you're not cursing it by saying that.
Yes.
All right. So until next time, laters.
See ya.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get ready.
Fight.